Hello, so my name is Annette Coppin and I'm speaking to you from Hastings in East Sussex in the UK, and I am an artist, performer and marine biologist.
Great combo. And can you tell us what you've been doing during lockdown?
So lockdown has been weirdly one of the busiest working times of my life, which I didn't think it was going to be when it started. So I only moved to Hastings in November and met most of the people I knew through my neighbour, Dan, who lives downstairs. And when lockdown hit in probably February, was it, I think? When it started? Well, or when the...
March was...
But like that kind of...
The panic was rising in
February.
Yeah.
So... Yeah, he works as like a producer and like has worked on different TV things and everything, and does a lot of community work anyway. And so my phone noise. He decided with a few other people here to start something called Isolation Station Hastings, which was a streaming kind of almost channel on Facebook, which gave the community here. There's a loud seagulls outside, it's closing the window. Which gave the community here basically an outlet, because it's a really, really, really artistic town. There's loads of musicians and a lot going on, and a real strong community feel. So the idea of the station was to basically give the community like their own, almost like their own TV station, where they could still do their art or, yoga or whatever it is they do, their music, and have it streamed round. And initially the plan for that was to have it from each pub to keep the pubs afloat, but then complete lockdown happened and people started streaming from their own homes. So one of the things they did was to train people how to stream, and he asked me, because I used to go into schools basically and be really psyched about the sea for the kids and be like, oh my god, do you know about this sea creature? And they'd be like, what? And they'd lose their minds. It's a great job, and he is saying, would you like to do a program on our TV station? So I was like, yeah, great, okay. And it's a really weird thing to do at first, kind of just, live stream from a camera at home. So I started something called Sea Creature Feature, which was just me just being really excited about the sea, but just from a computer. And it started off with me just showing the different objects I had. Like I've got kind of things like shark jaws and whale teeth and different things like that, which I used to take into schools. And then quite quickly I started to learn how to use different streaming platforms and how to make my own videos. And that kind of escalated really. And then, I started, just making a lot of programs about sea creatures.
What's been your favourite video?
Oh.
Your favourite creature?
Oh gosh, that's really difficult. I love everything in the sea. I think one of my favourite ones that I did was it was the first one where I took like an image of my own face all done up in my kind of festival gear and superimposed it like with animals. So that was the Sharks of the Deep episode, which is all the weird deep sea sharks that no one's ever heard of, like cookie cutter sharks, which are kind of these almost like cigar shaped, kind of about this big sharks. So they're one of the smallest, if not the smallest species of shark. And they don't have jaws like other ones. They kind of have this almost like circular jaws with teeth, and they basically go up and they just corkscrew cut out a chunk of a animal and then swim away with it. So they're the only kind of parasitic shark in the fact that they don't kill their prey to feed off it. And you just find things like whales and dolphins just with these weird holes cut out of them. And so one human swimmer off the coast of Hawaii has been got by one of those, but generally humans are safe. So they're mad. And I also talked about the Greenland shark, which is our oldest living vertebrate, which lives to over 500 years old. And they're mad, man. So their top speed is like 2 miles an hour, and they swim just through the freezing Arctic waters, and basically they just scavenge and catch whatever they can find. So their diet is mad. They eat all things like polar bears or reindeer, anything that is in the water that they can get. And they have a really kind of gnarly thing about them, which is that they have a parasite called a copepod, which is kind of not that dissimilar to a crab, that basically feeds off their eyes and just lives there on their eyes. So they don't really use their eyesight anyway. They use their sense of smell, but they're just blind, swimming around very slowly through freezing, dark, pitch black waters for 500 years with these things hanging off their eyes.
And can you tell us your nickname?
So this is actually, it was really nice actually. There's a little child that came up to me today as well and was like, "Oh, you're like David Attenborough," and started asking me questions when we were out. And so my friends nicknamed me David Annette-borough, which literally the first time they did it, they were like joking, but I just was like, like this is my childhood dream come to life. So, which is what you want. And I was working before anyway with a group called Incredible Ocean, so I started doing different episodes with them with some other really amazing scientists as well. So we're doing a lot of that, and we'll be releasing series 2 soon of our very exciting stuff. And yeah, we might have some very exciting news soon. We're not sure, but yeah, it's a really exciting time. But yeah, I became a video editor and a producer as well, just kind of like desperately on this computer that I got from a squat off someone in New Zealand. So it barely functions, and it's like I'm trying to make these videos and it's kind of going, and I know it's okay, it's gonna be okay. So yeah, it's been steep learning curves.
So where can people find out more?
So if you have a look on Facebook for Isolation Station Hastings, then you can find, I've got a playlist of sea creature feature videos. And for anything that I'm doing really in the future, sea creature wise, will be through Incredible Oceans, and we're just kind of putting together a proper YouTube channel at the moment. We also have our website, and you can find us, like tag us on anything at Incredoceans, I believe, and that's on everything from like TikTok to Instagram. And yeah, so an Isolation Station is, I think, becoming a real TV studio, so that's really exciting. Woo! So we're not stopping, but we will be changing format. So yeah, there's a lot more exciting stuff to come.
Nice one, thank
you. You're so welcome. Yeah, it's been a very special place to spend lockdown, because it's the sense of community here and the spirit that was shown during lockdown was featured a couple of times on BBC News. One for Isolation Station, and for all of the food bank projects, basically, because the whole community came together to look after anyone and everyone who needs it. And we did something called HEART, like Hastings HEART, which was basically like Hastings Emergency Response team, and that was where hundreds of people from the local community just volunteered to look after every single person who needed it. And we were, I think, giving out around 2 tons of food a week.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's been, the community response here has been incredible, and I feel very blessed to have been where I am.
How does 2 tons compare to the weight of a sea creature?
Ooh, that's a very good question. So that would be about 2 blue whale tongues.
2 blue whale tongues? And that's what you've been giving to
Yeah.
It's a good diet.
Yeah, it's a good diet. Very good diet, you know. There's a lot of protein
Amazing.
in there.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks for showing me Hastings.
No, you're so welcome. Yeah. Thank you for coming. It's been a joy to have you. So I met David doing an amazing charity bike ride. No, you can't get out of it that easily. Called Thighs of Steel. So he was in a Thighs, so one of the people who's leading teams of amazing people who wanted to donate their time and their thighs to cycling from London to Athens to raise money for help refugees. So, yeah. Whoop whoop.
Nice one, that was beautiful.
Oh, no, you're so welcome.